My name is Laumi Olatunji, and thank you for joining How to Sell to High Ticket Customers. I want you to know that you are in the right training today. You are in the right training if you are a business owner, an entrepreneur, an independent professional, a consultant, or a coach, or if you are a salesperson. If you are struggling to close big ticket transactions, if you're struggling to break into large companies or corporations, if you're spending a lot of time and resources trying to get listed as a vendor or contractor of big companies, or you may also be struggling to retain sales, marketing, or business development staff, but you're not sure how to keep your sales team in focus or motivated so that you can improve their sales performance. You may be finding it hard to keep up with the numerous sales channels and platforms for your business. You may be feeling frustrated about that seemingly lack of progress or the long lead time it is taking you to get big business. Or you may have even made one big ticket sale in the past, but it seems like you have hit a brick wall. And then you begin to think that your earlier progress was just sheer luck. Ultimately, I think you know clearly that closing big deals, selling to big companies, closing high ticket transactions is a powerful means of deriving long lasting revenue for your business. And what you need is that clarity on how to approach this properly. And you're looking for a solution to your low sales or low success rates in closing big ticket transactions, a solution that actually works. Since you know that selling to big companies is a sure way to build a commercially viable and investable business. If any of this that I've said sounds like you, I am excited to share this training with you because I really think it's going to make an impact in your life and your business today. Now, I know that a lot of you can relate to some of the points that I've stated, but to be clear, this training is not for you if you are looking for quick hacks that may change your sales overnight. If you are not prepared to put in the effort to grow your sales team, or if you want to run an auto-run sales team, yet you are not willing to put the right structures in place, this training will not work for you. Throughout this training, my partners and I we will cover the exact reasons why you or your sales teams are not able to close high ticket transactions. This will help you gain clarity and direct your attention appropriately. We pride ourselves in not teaching ungrounded practices that are not based on facts. We will also share with you a strategy that is proven to work, not only for myself, but for my partners' businesses, our clients' businesses, and other successful businesses. Finally, we would also give you practical and achievable goals to work towards. You will not leave this training thinking it is impossible to make consistent sales to high ticket customers. Instead, you'll be filled with inspiration and you become confident in your own ability to generate sales. Now, let's look at the training timeline. This training will last for about an hour. Of course, it is longer than your usual YouTube video or an online course, but in the end, you'll be sure it is worth your time because you will receive in-depth training for your business today. We'll start by introduction and talk about why you are not selling to high-ticket customers. Then next, we'll talk about how to close big ticket transactions. And then despite the fact that there's a pitch about our exclusive training program called Selling Big, you will definitely still get value in this training. So, there are thousands of sales and business growth experts out there. And I know you can find numerous sales training programs as well. Why am I the person you should listen to? And why is my team the best team to work with? Between my colleagues at the Atlas Business Academy and I, we have trained and consulted for notable Nigerian companies such as Nappims, Flour Mills, Computer Warehouse Group, Nigerian Judiciary, Ascon, Coca-Cola, Guarantee Trust Bank, and many more. The truth is that we're just like you. My colleagues and I have both worked in the corporate setting, and then we transitioned to run our own companies. We know the ups and downs of entrepreneurship, and I have personally struggled for a really long time when things were not going my way. And I wasn't getting the kind of results that I wanted. After many years, things clicked for me. After leaving paid employment, I founded the Business Outliers, and we provided business development services. I have since helped numerous small and growing businesses. For example, I've been hosted by the BMC Bank of Africa in Morocco, Casablanca, where I worked with a total of 8 startup companies to win $800,000 in startup funding. I've also worked for or volunteered for other organizations such as TEF, Ashoka Africa, Alt Prize University Program, IIN, and so on. I've been featured on BMC Africa Entrepreneurship Awards profile, Jordan FM, iImpact TV, and many more. Later, I joined Brockville Investments as the CEA. Now, let's move on to talk about why you are not closing high-ticket transaction. You see, selling to high-ticket customers is really tough. It's not for the faint-hearted. I remember one of my very first experiences closing a deal. It was a very, very big construction property development company. So I spent several months going to their office. I was speaking to a particular man that promised to help connect me with the CEO. But after so long of so much time wasting, I developed a better strategy that led me to meet with an ED, and of course, closing the account was easier. I found that the person I was initially speaking with was a clerk, and he had zero connection to offer me. So I just wasted my time. That was really sad, wasn't it? But lesson was learned. Never did I make such a mistake again. The problem was that I didn't identify the correct pathway, right? But what I did was to develop the creativity to overcome this challenge of self-doubt. Now, this takes me to 3 reasons why you likely aren't making progress that you desire in closing high-paying clients. Why are you not selling to high-ticket customers? 1, not being clear about your value, holding yourself back, and underestimating how tough or how long this will take. Now, I'll talk about the first one. Not being clear about your value. It means that you have not fully visualized or communicated the product or service that and how it will fill the prospective client's need. It means that the product or service you're offering, you are not clear about the why behind it, why a customer will buy that offer from you, and you have not been able to communicate it properly to the client. And I was able to realize my error earlier on in the story I said earlier. But if you don't, it lingers for so long. Not being clear about your value leads to self-doubt, and you'll be wondering if you have anything of value to offer to this high-ticket client. You begin to wonder how to handle pricing or even other objections. The second thing is holding yourself back. Truth is, holding yourself back you may be doing that because you feel that the decision makers that you need to meet are out of your league. They are much, maybe out of your reach, or they are super talented. For instance, if you're selling a tech product and you feel these people probably even know more than you, or you feel you can't possibly interact with them. Well, I don't blame most people for this, because it's kind of a mental block that comes from being stuck in your head and worrying about how difficult it takes to make the move. In my early years in banking, I had a very, very urgent request that needed approval from our divisional head. So I picked up my phone and I called his office, and I realized that it wasn't in Abuja, but it was in the MD's office in Lagos. So I picked up the phone and I dialed the MD's office, hoping to speak with the secretary and just to leave a message. That was my mission. So because I was under pressure, I did this. Now, surprisingly, if you want to guess who picked up the phone, well, it was the MD himself. And he goes, "Hello, how can I help you?" I froze because I was shocked. I couldn't expect that the MD himself would pick up the secretary's phone. But I quickly got myself together. I introduced myself and I said, I wanted to speak to the secretary because I want to leave a message for my divisional head. And he was like, divisional head isn't here, but I can give you his mobile number. And he goes on to call the private line of my divisional head for me. I still remember that to this day. And I smile because what that experience did for me was to give me confidence and break any mind blockers that executives and people in position of authority in big companies are just human beings. People like you and I, but they just happen to work in high positions. So if you break that barrier, it will make you move forward a lot. The third point will be underestimating how tough or how long it will take. Selling to big business, selling to high ticket transaction takes longer than the regular transaction, because the bigger the company, the more complex the procedures and their timelines are. I am also guilty of this. When I first became an entrepreneur, I didn't fully grasp the length of time it would take to close one big deal. Yes, working in a structured environment in a company that has been established for, say, 20 years or more is totally different from launching out on your own, because this company has built its brand for a longer time. So as an entrepreneur, if you want to launch out, it will take you more time to publicize your own brand. And you need to understand that, and that will give you an expectation of the timeline. Right. So far we've been talking about how to sell to big ticket transaction. In this next series of lessons, I will take you through our training program called Selling Big. So far we've talked about talking to high ticket transaction, but for selling big, my life has changed significantly through this understanding. Since I got the understanding of how to sell to big customers, and this is the knowledge that I want to share with you so that you don't have to spend the amount of time I spent struggling. And that is why I put this training together, and I invited my colleagues to join me so that you can get results faster than we ever did. Every challenge that hinders you from selling to high ticket customers, those challenges that I've listed here today, they have clear solutions, and Abayomi and I will share with you in the rest of the training.
Right there are a lot of new approaches that are required for success in this crazy world, in this crazy marketplace that we are today. So doing the same thing the old way will not really get you to success, especially when you want to get your footing into a very large organization. And we know selling to big companies is very tough. If you've ever tried, whatever sector, whether you're trying to sell to multinationals or international oil companies, trying to become a contractor, even in those firms, you know how tough it is. It's really tough. But it seems as if those big organizations, they've created like huge impenetrable forces around their offices just to keep you out. How do you find who is the decision maker? How do you know who exactly you are trying to reach? It becomes very difficult. And most of us we have that dream. You are looking at big companies and thinking, how do I get my foot into that door? You even start having visions of success, at a point that, I'm probably going to do it very soon. I'm going to be successful. So what we've put together, and that's where we put the training together. But before I go on that, I'm going to just give you some tips, right? How to sell to large corporations. I'll start and then I'll call Abayomi to also give more of those tips. So the first tip is basically to do not waste time on self-promotion. Focus largely on value. Every person, every organization, every buyer wants to see value in what they are buying. You want to address the value add that your product or your service is doing to the organization. So you have to have a very clear value proposition. And then another thing is that, still on value, the people that are the midway or they'll give you the footing into this black organization, they're just like ordinary people like you and I, but they just work for giant corporations. So what your goal is to find a decision maker, and you don't want to waste time. You remember the story I gave earlier? I was trying to sell, a bank financial service product too, and I wasted my time talking to a clerk for like 6 months until I realized that I was doing the wrong thing. And at the end of the day, I changed my strategy and I was able to achieve that. Now, nobody wants to hear your sales pitch if it doesn't show value, it doesn't show the why that is beneficial to them. Then the next is that don't waste time selling to everybody. You need to analyze your existing customer database. How have you been successful with these ones? So that might even be the way, the right way to get in. Abayomi, can you talk about selling multiple products? Don't sell multiple products at once. What do you think about that?
Yeah, thank you. For every single effort you're making to large corporations and large companies, you should understand something. Except you are given an opportunity to come and have a meeting and you want to start your presentation, you can highlight on some of the services that you offer. Was that every single sales call has to do with a particular value proposition in mind. You cannot go to a place to say you want to sell cyber security solutions now, and you're trying to also at the same time tell them, get on, let me give you the servers or the storage platform to install. Let it be the value proposition of cybersecurity that you are actually maturing out to them. Then it will pop up with regards to what is the ready equipment that they have. Because when you try to sell multiple products at once, you end up confusing the customer rather than convincing them about a particular product or solution line. It is very key for us because, again, all you need to do is to become a trusted business advisor to them. And the way they can trust you is to see you give them exemplary solution from a single point of entry. And once you've been able to achieve that, they have their belief in you and they know you have their interest at heart. Don't forget, every business that is working because there are people who are behind the scene working. And these persons are normal human beings like me and you. They have their own KPI to the business. So every single minute they are giving you to come and meet with them, you should be able to marshal out and articulate your value proposition and cross a single line. Then you can take it to the next level. Lastly, in sales, no is part of our everyday life. We take no as in we take it as a compliment because no gets me. No doesn't mean never. Never and no are the two different things. No, I don't have the money. Not never, I cannot use it. No, we cannot afford it now. Doesn't mean never, we will never come on a cloud platform. So when you understand no, take the no as a feedback, then go back to see when is your next budget. Understand why the no is happening now. You don't need the solution. If you think they know, create a business case justification to them. Oftentimes, especially in technology sales, what we've discovered is the customer has some problem. They don't even know they have a problem. And they keep getting into issues about it. That's why we should come in, give a business case justification backed by a value proposition. And I believe the same will happen sooner than later. Thank you.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So the next point is about data. And I like data so much. I mean, anybody in IT, although I'm not in IT, but I guess being a scientist or a technical person, I like data. But for the point here is that you need to get qualitative, or quantitative information rather about your product at the back of your hands. So how much time saving is this product doing or this service going to give to your customer? How much money would you give? So I might have a particular scenario where last week I went and attended a telecoms conference, right? And at that conference, I had a particular goal to meet with anybody or people in a particular organization to sell gas to power solutions. I already had information about how much money it will cost you, how much money to save you if you switch from diesel to gas. So it was very, usually you have those kind of information at the back of your hand. So when you're having conversations, you are like the master of your art. So how much activity improvement or how much, what are the just qualitative data that will say 20% you save this, 30%, the people will be more impressed with you when they give that kind of information. So how do you get a leg in the door? I want Abayomi to take this. It's very interesting. Get the leg in the door. Like, how do you connect to large organizations?
Again, thank you. The large organization or the structured organization, there's a mindset. There's a mindset to the way they work. So there is a perception they have, or they expect to have of you for them to receive you. Now, when I can readily walk into an SMA house, a small business environment, and knock out and tell them, oh, this is what I'm doing, which is cold call. Cold calling at a large corporation, which is possible, oftentimes doesn't give you the needed response. Because again, every sales effort, you need to ensure you are time conscious or you're time bound. So getting a leg in the door can come in. I'll give you the standard traditional platform or way and manner to approach them. And now I'll give you insight into some of the new trends of this time. But I'll tell you, every business you want to get a leg in the door for that is you need to write an official request for a meeting, or write a proposal, or write a letter of introduction. Because that's what the business understands. It's a structured environment. Everybody have their delineation, which that's what they do. And let me tell you, for a big and structured environment, for you that you are going to sell, you need to appreciate some persons very well. First, the security man at the gate. That man can be your greatest enemy because he might choose not to let you in. Two, the people or the lady at the reception. Now, regardless of how hostile or hospitable or welcoming she is, what is your big picture? Your big picture is to get her to do what you want to achieve. Indirectly, you have submitted. Some people look at you and say, what is this? And they drop right in front of you, they drop it beside you. You have to just be able to befriend them. Befriend them means, you need to be able to get across to them to ensure your letter is dropped at the right office. Because in some situations, you don't know the name of the key contact person. Because, like you may have said earlier, you have to work with data, try to understand, research that organization. As much as possible, you need to know the name of the particular officer in charge of that area you want to sell to. Example, I want to supply stationery to a business, a big business. I need to know who is in charge of purchasing or procurement. Now, if I want to sell laptop and desktops, I don't really need the procurement or the purchasing because they will sign the purchase order. That's the paperwork. But it's the head of IT or the CTO who needs to know, oh, we have so and so needs, or we are not buying more. So you need to know who and who. In some scenario, it's difficult to get the names, but write an official letter. Once you've written an official letter, make sure you go with an extra copy for acknowledgement. Once it's acknowledged, you must insist, please, I need a contact number. They say, why I need a direct contact number to follow up. Of course, they won't give you the contact number of the officer, but they give you the desk office number, which is what you need to follow up. Once you have that, you can follow up to schedule your meeting or get them to confirm if they're giving you a meeting. And once you've done that, you have a meeting, you have a leg in the door. But then, because we are in the social media age, LinkedIn, I repeat, LinkedIn remains the best. For me, you don't get me on any other social platform anymore, except on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a warehouse or professional person or professionally minded persons. And when you work within LinkedIn, you most often will get to know the name of the person you want to deal with. Work with websites of those companies, you will get names of persons who are involved. You might not have their direct email address, but you have who is responsible for which department. Those ones are very key. And of course, with the end of year reports of these businesses, as they give you insights to what you don't know and help you better. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. The only addition I will have to that is you need to understand the buying process of the organization you're trying to sell to. So for instance, there are some organizations where all you need to do is to find the person in charge of IT or the person in charge of procurement. In the oil and gas industry, you need to understand their buying process, because what you need to do is send out tenders, expression of interest, and you need to find out how you become an EPC contractor, or how you become listed, how your organization becomes listed as a vendor to that particular organization, to that particular corporate organization you are trying to do. So understanding their buying process will help you so that you don't waste time, making wrong turns. So you don't waste time making wrong turns. You understand the buying process, and it makes it easier for you. We're still talking about selling big, how to sell to large corporations. And here, this time, I'm going to talk about what you will learn, in this particular training that we have put together. So basically, you learn more about what is happening in the corporate world today, and what is causing, or what is making it difficult, for sales to be done to large organizations. So you'll be introduced to trends that are impacting sales today. You understand how to break into large organizations with your own service offering. The second thing is you understand the target market. So you know how to target big companies with a high likelihood of success. So basically you need to understand how you can evaluate your own current value proposition and how to improve on it in a way that will become very accessible and very attractive to the target audience. Thirdly, you need to overcome challenges. You learn how to overcome the typical challenges that you encounter in your attempts to get into big companies. So you need to find out how to engage in a business-oriented fashion, whether it's from phone discussions or voice notes or voicemail, all the other ways. And you need to learn how to turn gatekeepers into gate openers without the use of any manipulative techniques. How to, the people that you meet that were like the borders, those days, when you think of going to a particular, or maybe a government organization, there'll be the secretary that will say, no, the boss is not around. So you need to learn how to turn those people into people that will even be gate openers for you, but you are not going to be manipulative. The fourth thing you will learn in this course is about key account management for complex sales process. I'll leave Ayabara to talk about that.
Thank you. Now, by the time we are going into large corporations, large institutions, and organizations, what you understand is you have to put your sales process into a structured approach, because one, that organization would not tolerate getting to meet 3-4 persons from your organization coming to them. That's why the essence of account managers or account management comes in. But the point I want to first of all make note of is what makes for account management. Except you made a sale into a place, it's not an account. But whenever you made a single sale into, then it becomes what we call an account in sales. Meaning, I've made a sale there. I know there will be need for support solutions in this place, because I'll be going for after sales support. My solution that I've sold to them will need my support for them to consistently get value from that sale I've made to them. So it becomes an account. Now you are coming that account for you to sell the solutions to them again and again. So much so you are building a relationship with them so that they get to know you as a trusted advisor. So much so you are bringing the latest trend in the industry to them. For example, you might say, please, can you give us a 30 or 20 minutes meeting? We want to showcase the latest trend in the fashion industry to you. So why? Because we know we are the one doing this for some large corporations. In IT, what we say is okay, we want to let you see the latest trend in storage management. When you're saying that to a telecommunication outfit, an oil and gas business, or people in the banking, they want to listen because the cost of acquisition of data center infrastructure is alarming. Now the world has shifted to cloud, and everybody believes, oh, the cloud is good. Now we can say, now we are going to show you why you have to make your decision between using the cloud or staying with the traditional ownership of your data center infrastructure. Because you look at all of those things, before you can get to that place, they've known you, you've made a sale there, you are the dedicated account manager. Once they have any issue in the house, you come to them to give them the solution without them paying for it, first of all. Because many a time you have to do a proof of concept, POC. You have to do a demo. They need to see that, oh, this one can work. So account management is a lifelong exercise of the company to ensure we have a big share of the budget in that account, at least from that to your area of business. I remember my days, computer and some of the other IT companies I worked. I always work with getting the budget for the year for the IT department. And I know, based on the understanding of the budget, we will be making preparation the year before. Like the last quarter of every year is for us to go and say, we want to come and do an audit of the IT infrastructure. They're coming to do a workshop on the new trends to expect. Or based on your present infrastructure, how can you optimize it without spending so much money? Because sales is about three things on the average. One, you want to help them to make more money. Two, you want them to save more money, depending on the scenario. Three, you want to give them a better convenience. And by extension, you want them to be able to reach their own goal better. For example, when I was selling ATMs, you know the traditional banking experience is not about ATM, but the one involved to where people need to get their money on the go. And that's why ATM machines are coming. Now we've left that realm now into POS now, because the understanding is the ATM has not gone around the country the way we expected it, and in places they've gone around because of the peculiarity of this environment, the POS seems to work better. So what do? You have somebody who has a large turnover of physical cash based on their own direct business. The bank onboard them into their POS system, because the same money they are getting is what they are using to service the customers who come for cash and is back-ended with the bank. So you can see the convenience for better value creation for the bank, for better avenue to make money for the bank, better services option for the customers of the bank, and you can see the person who is doing the POS having another line of income apart from their regular line of income. So all of this brings account management into focus. And when you talk about key account management, you are selling a complex thing. And that you can't go into it because you have to do account mapping, you have to understand the key principal officers, you need to tie in different accounts, different departments into the entire communication cycle. Thank you. I just want to point out to you, as a business, as an SME, that if you are not selling big, or you are not selling to big corporations, then you are not ready for the next level of business growth. All you need is one or two big corporations on your top A customer list for you to really grow to the next phase. I experienced mine in 2016, and it has limited my appetite for large corporation sales. When I said I experienced mine, I'm saying I experienced this as a business. I did that with the Nigerian Bottling Corporation. So it's big for me. Company, Nigerian Bottling Company, which we call Coca-Cola. But I'll bring it back to my days working as an IT person in Computer Warehouse Group. I made sales of $1.8 million, $1.5 billion. And while I'm representing a company that is big, the big brand, what gives me joy is the purchase order comes, address the Computer Warehouse Group, and the attention about it, because I was the account manager. I did the work, I did the groundwork with the entire team, the technical team supporting me and doing that. And there's a way it pumps your adrenaline when you know, oh, I did this. And every time you go out with that mindset, your brain is consistently responding to your request for a big solution. Big corporation request or need big solutions for their operation. Thank you.
Okay, so super. I like the fact that we talk about thinking big, because if you think big, you will. And you think, when you're talking about, for instance, the EPC contracts I was talking about, you see request values that are just 500,000. Supply hand sanitizer, supply face mask, or something way bigger, maybe like a catering deal for maybe people that are offshore, or events planning. So the point is this: you don't need to, whatever stage you are in your business, you don't need to think, I need to be at that very big level before I start thinking of selling to big brands, because that's the only thing that gives you sustainability. Because once you get in, you can always continuously get more contracts and more deals to do. So I think that's just a bit of encouragement.
So far in this training, you have learned very important tips of why you were not selling to high ticket transaction. And in the introduction to selling big, you've been able to see the key tips that Abayomi and I discussed on how you can now start making that move. So what you've heard so far is just a tiny tip of the iceberg. The strategies that we'll be teaching in the selling big training are the same that our clients like DigiConnect, a leading oil and gas consulting company, have used in the past 2 years after Abayomi and I trained their BD staff, their business development staff, and has helped them gain confidence in approaching large multinational organizations such as Mobil, Ajib, Total, Shell in the upstream oil and gas companies, and they have been able to close millions of dollars in transactions. Well, DigiConnect is not the only company. Other companies like Mycolo, Vicford Recyclers, Streetweight Companies, Dewey Gas, and many more have benefited immensely from our team's experience in developing a superior business growth strategy. Beyond sales training, we have offered services such as IT and telecoms, facility rental, equipment supply, business development to notable organizations, various organizations like Coca-Cola, Caraway Africa, Tuteria, Ola, and many more, as you can see on my screen. Now, what is in this training box? When you signed up for this training today, you knew that you needed a solution for your sales problems, and that you truly believed that selling to big ticket customers, selling big, was the solution that you needed. Now, if you are looking for a proven strategy to build high impact sales pipeline and create sales excellence, if you're looking for simple tactics to convert your sales pipeline into steady stream of high paying customers, and an easy method to understand the complex cycle of sales management, or if you're looking for a step-by-step roadmap to consultative state selling and creating a foundation for building clients' trust, then Selling Big is for you. Selling Big is a complete sales training program built on the structure of high-paying client sales strategy that we have shared with you today. And it teaches you how you can clearly and easily follow a format. Olaniyi Ogundipe, the CEO of EXP Engineering, liked our training so much because it provided him with a direction and a game plan to grow his business. And I promise it will do the same for you. Selling Big will teach you how to strategically structure your business development activities for more meaningful sales interactions. Selling Big will help you create and implement a sustainable account plan, an account mapping plan that you can actually stick to. Selling Big will help you build a relationship with your prospective decision makers that helps you close sales in no time at all. Selling big will also help you develop key account management skills that will lead you to year-on-year revenue assurance. So year-on-year, you would have confidence that this is the amount of revenue your organization will make. And you will definitely learn how to close those big deals with minimal support. Now, in selling big, we have put together a list of lead generating sales prospecting tools, bite-sized video lessons on selling big, 2 valuable case studies. We have templates and tools for sales automation and communication. And if you wanted to price this together, it will be priced at 271,300 naira. But we are giving this same training to you at a huge and heavily discounted value of 52,900 naira if you subscribe to the training in the next couple of days. So I will take this opportunity if I were you, and I encourage you to do that. Okay, finally, before I leave, I just want to talk about other ways where you can engage us at the Outlier Business Academy. Of course, we've talked about the pre-recorded on-demand training, which is priced at 52,900 if you take the opportunity in the next couple of days. In addition, you can also engage us to give you customized virtual real-time training for your team alone. We can also come to your location wherever you are on this planet. You know, we make international trips, we go Pan-Africa, in class or in office or at any location of your choice. My colleague and I we can come over to make that training. And finally, we work with business development teams, especially young and new people in the sales team. We offer hand-holding, periodic business development mentorship that will help young salespeople launch into their sales, into their role, and fit into it properly. So if you like to reach out to any of on any of these services, please reach out to us at sales@thebusinessoutliers.com. I will put the link at the end of this training. So I would like to say thank you for everyone that has watched me live today, and to every other person that will listen to the recording afterwards. It's been a pleasure talking to you about this superior training that is bent and is designed to change the life of your business forever.